Now, for more on today's developments, we are joined by a specialist on U.S.-Russian relations, Angela Stent. She is the director of the Center for Eurasian, Russian, and East European Studies at Georgetown University School of Foreign Service, and she joins us from Washington. Thanks very much for being with us. What's your sense of what the president's visit to Moscow accomplished and where American and Russian relations now stand?
Well, it certainly pressed the reset button from the U.S. point of view. The atmospherics are much better. Some framework agreements were signed. They agreed to establish a bilateral U.S.-Russian commission. In other words, they agreed to begin to try and develop the relationship anew into something more productive than it's been, let's say, for the last 5 years.
And yet, despite all the warm words, there was also a warning today by the Russian foreign minister against the planned U.S. missile shield in Eastern Europe. Is this issue likely to turn into a big problem?
The most contentious issue between the U.S. and Russia is going to be Russia's neighborhood, the post-Soviet space. And I think this could be an issue. The Russians do not want these missile defense components deployed in Eastern Europe. The United States has said we're reviewing the issue, but we're not going to stand up and say that we're never going to deploy them.
And then the president also met today with Mikhail Gorbachev and then the opposition leader and former world champion of chess, Garry Kasparov. What was the point of those meetings?
Well, when U.S. presidents go to Russia, at least in the last 20 years, they have always met with people from different parts of the political spectrum, and that's why President Obama met with the shrinking opposition in Russia. And I think with President Gorbachev, it's really a sign of respect and to show that we appreciate, that the Soviet Union imploded peacefully.
And now that this meeting is getting ready to wrap up and this visit ends, what do you think is next in this delicate and often pretty difficult relationship?
Well, I think the challenge is to create a group of stakeholders in this relationship. It's to push this binational commission that's just been reformed forward, and it's to get down to the hard work. And there will be many challenges: Iran, Russia's neighborhood, and even Afghanistan. So we will have to wait some time to see whether this pressing the reset button has really worked.
And when it comes to, say, the issues of Iran and Afghanistan, which are, of course, vitally important to the U.S., do you think that Russia and the U.S. see eye to eye on this, or are they pretending to get along here? How closely are they seeing this problem?
On Iran, I don't think we see eye to eye. Russia has very different commercial and political interests in Iran than we do. The problem is, from the U.S. point of view, Russia can make it more difficult for us to achieve our objectives in Iran, and we need to prevent that from happening. On Afghanistan, there's more coincidence of views. Neither of us want to see the Taliban come back to power. On the other hand, the Russians don't like it that the United States has a base in Central Asia and is so present in Russia's backyard.
Angela Stent, we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Glad to be here.